Hi, I'm Lauren. Welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. This is the official Lauren Brown channel. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on all your notifications. Also, you can follow me on Fanbase, Instagram, and TikTok. Links in the description, as well as anything else we talk about. It's going to be linked in the description. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. It has been a minute since I posted a video to share with you all, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm coming to you from my home office. And it's quite bright, so there's a window right here. The lighting will likely change. I can't control the sun. So apologies if you find any fluctuations or everything suddenly turns blue. I don't know. Now, there will be a tour for the office. There are still things that are not yet done. This area back here is to be completed as well. We're still looking for the right lighting for the ceiling, and I'm looking for a chair, a specific kind of chair, and as well tiebacks for the curtains. So yeah, we'll have a tour and you'll see all of that. But those are the updates. In the time that I've been away, I've also been exploring a lot of my own hobbies and really trying to find joy in the process. So we'll get into that now. So that's food. We talked about food. Holidays, my favorite food. I don't think we said it actually. For food, over Thanksgiving, I had a wonderful smoked turkey wing, and it was delicious, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm also really enjoying chocolate. I don't usually eat chocolate, or I actually wasn't able to eat it a lot. I think I might have said that in a previous video, but I have caffeine sensitivity, or have had, but that seems to have gone away. So I am enjoying chocolate more now, and that's great. Yeah, Nutella's great. Nutella is great, as well as just any old good rich chocolate. Let's see what else. Gosh. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you hear any barking or noise in the background, that is Gus. He is as Gusly as ever. He needs to be house trained. So fingers crossed on that. Updates since we last spoke as well. I am looking for work. My family, were still involved in AI, but I am personally looking for work. I'd like to expand my horizons as well. I think it's really important to make a living, and we are in the process of fundraising and all that stuff. And in the meantime, I need to make a living, and that's just part of entrepreneurship. Sunlight change, but that's part of entrepreneurship. There is going to be, the highs and lows, and if you're in it, you're in it, and you just take what comes. Be flexible in your approach and committed to the dream. And what I find is that I'm also someone who does much better when she has more to do. So, while that mission is kind of being manned and or helmed by, parts of the team that are very capable, I also just think it's really important to, expand. I'd like to be able to go back to school, and of course, university is not free. I'd like to get my master's in. I'm going back and forth between design engineering and computer science, but I also like physics, so I'm really not sure. I think design engineering will have the most, well, I love design. I am also very, very, it matters to me, the quality of a product. It matters to me how something is made. It matters to me just all the details and all the parts that are involved in going from, you know, planning to execution when you're dealing with a product. And, you know, it applies in so many different industries, and yeah, it's kind of universally applicable. It can go for medical tech. It can be involved in, you know, the production of, you know, consumer electronics, also products, just the making of robots, making, you know, tissue boxes, making what have you. So yeah, I'm looking at that as well. So that is partially also why it's really important for me to find work. So open to it, as it says on LinkedIn, open to work. But yeah, so that's kind of the life update, so, mixed in with one moment. Okay, so this is a piece that I did, and it's called Take No Offense, Enter the Gate. And it is, let me move it where there's no direct shadow on it. It is, it's on wood, and the medium as well, we use wood filler. No, sorry, in this one it's grout, actually. I use grout. I really like to create sculptural pieces. And so, you know, there's a lot of texture. I like use the gold here, and it's inspired as well by like Gustav Klimt and Yves Tanguy, and you know, I love the surrealist landscape, and the way that, you know, the landscape elements can kind of be abstracted and taken to kind of these kind of alternative Alice in Wonderland extents. And yeah, color. It's a play on color. I love gold. And I think as well, one of the things I really love is when you have this kind of multi-layered, when you have a multi-layered piece. So for me, my process is actually pretty long and somewhat intensive, because I start with, and just so you can see the back, like it's real wood. You can see the grain and everything. I start with larger pieces of wood, recycled wood. So that means I'm usually cutting it down, sanding it, filling it, and then also going over it with a sculptural medium. So that could be wood filler, plaster, grout. And then I like to do an underpainting that I then cover with gold, and then do the actual final painting. So you kind of see here, you know, and there's a lot of detail. I don't want to get out of focus here, but there's quite a bit of detail in this. And yeah, it's a few things. For me, I love how art is up to the interpretation of the viewer, and most experiences when you're kind of, the artist is not there. So I don't really like to impose what I think, but I will say that it's inspired by a few places, and as well as a few different schools of thought or belief. So a little bit of Shintoism, some Hebrew, as well. It made me think of, you know, I was thinking of like London, the London Eye. I was thinking of the sea underwater. So there's just so many elements here, and none of them are like a specific endorsement of an ideology or belief, but just the way that, you know, these elements kind of suffuse as you're learning about them, and then, you know, they become, you know, as an artist, you just kind of, you know, put them forward. And I actually think the light does a really great job here, where you just see how, you know, this gold, there's just this iridescence to it. And yeah, and it's a solid piece, you know. It was really important for me to create works that I could stand by. You know, I can knock on the back of this, it's solid. And I still have to add the hook to the back. But, you know, it's over 1 inch thick. You can see that there's quite a bit of detail. Like I said, I like sculptural paintings, or at least that's kind of my thing so far. And when I'm not doing sculptural, I'm in watercolors and abstracted that way. But yeah, so this is surrealist landscape and kind of sculptural for me. You know, this is not a bought piece. I made this by hand, and because of the process of recycling wood, or should I say upcycling wood, is whatever in need of being upcycled, it's always valuable, right? But yeah, so between each element, you know, cutting and sanding can take 1 to 2 days. I try to prepare a few of these boards or canvases at a time. And so I kind of, yeah, I start with one, and then so that's 1 to 2 days maybe just to prep it. This is before anything goes onto the canvas itself, whether that's wood filler, plaster, grout, what have you. It might take me about 2 days of active layering to get the proper texture, just because I like to, this is one piece, but I have another piece. Let me show you. So this one is called Enter the Gate. Don't take offense, enter the gate. Pun. All right, and then the second piece here. Oh wow, look at how reflective this is. It's like a bounce light. But this is another piece. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, just outside of the sunlight for you to, yeah. And so this one I call Earth Science, and it's got all these different elements to it. So let me see if I do it this way to give you a chance to kind of see what it is. All right, so for this piece, you know, I don't know if you can see, but we've got so much texture here. And, you know, we're dealing with, yeah, quite a bit of texture on the top as well as the bottom. And we've got glitter, we've got, yeah. So sometimes a piece like this, it'll take maybe 4 days or 4 days to a week just for the texture. Because when you put on the first layer and you let it dry, so that can take 1 to 2 days. When you put on that first layer, it doesn't always, the medium isn't always let me hold it here. I just want to be careful not to. The good thing about it being wood, it's solid enough that I can hold it like this. But do be careful with the art. If one day you know, I'd like to sell these. I wonder if you'd like them. But yeah, hold on. All right, there we go. So yeah, it can take a little bit for you to get these like peaks and valleys and dips. So I like to take a few days on that. And then when that's done, I will kind of paint an underlayer. So with the previous piece, I don't know if you could see, there's a bit of a red cast or tone to it. So sometimes I'll paint an actually really simple painting underneath and then layer over that with gold, kind of like as a way of giving the painting a spirit or a vibe, you know, not to be woo-woo. It's really truly about how undertones affect the more translucent gold layer above. And so, you know, this is, you know, something here. And so Earth Science, this piece is inspired by so many elements. You've got mountains up here. You know, you've got like snowy, like trees, but of course the surrealist element is that somehow the tree is hot pink and mint. You know, this piece here, You can see it as a comet, or you can see it as the, I think they call them the walking stones. But essentially it was inspired by these stones that create drag marks in the desert. I can't remember right now which which desert it is, but it was this really cool phenomenon where you just see this trail in sand as rocks just moved, almost like they were moving. And I believe the phenomenon was due to either what you call it, small tremors in the ground, or it was due to wind or something. But I just remember it it was a documentary I'd seen maybe over a decade ago. Yeah. And then having these little glitter elements, these little gem-like moments. I don't know if you can see it there, but yeah, my apologies for it not being too, oh, there you go. See, there's a little glitter in that moment here, right here. And yeah, this moment here is like the Grand Canyon. All right, so let me put this back, because I have, like I said, I still have to prep the back of these, so you've got a little bit of plaster on the back, but that's something that I'll just kind of sand off and neaten up. Unless you like that sort of thing, before I put the sawtooth on the back for hanging. Okay. So that is my art. Like I mentioned, I have more pieces that I've been working on and that I have worked on. I'm also interested in watercolor and kind of coming from a more abstract place with that, whereas with acrylic, I'm excited by surrealist landscape. And so that's art. Now for culture, I have been reading Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. And this is the book. And I like, and as a great summary of it, it has on the back this 4-circle Venn diagram. And each of these 4 circles, you have at the top what you love. Then it has on the right what the world needs. On the left, what you're good at. And at the bottom, what you can be paid for. And then overlapping these in these kinds of sections around, you've got passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession, and at the center of that is your Ikigai. So Ikigai is where all of these should be kind of layered together. And, you know, in the time that I've been away, I've really been reflecting on who I am, what I want to do, because I'm 32 now. I'm looking to expand my horizons, exploring, purpose and living a purpose-built life, and kind of taking that Ikigai, that larger like purpose and mission and vision for the self, and externalizing that. And the thing is, I think you can find your Ikigai and explore it and use it and be active with it in work in any space, just as my experience has basically meant that I've been versatile and adaptable and had to, if we had a meeting with someone who had an expertise on a certain area, I would go and buy a textbook and I would go and read that for like the next week, cover to cover, and read articles, and just became really big in research, into research on whatever it is. If I had to educate myself to be capable in that new space, that's what I did. And, I think that adaptability, that is what I'm looking to do, to enter into a new space, learn about it, make earn my living like everybody else, just as everyone else has to. I also have to, and go and find a way to live my purpose. And I'm going to share with you just some elements that I think are kind of universal, but that spoke to me from Ikigai. And I have it here. The idea, and this is about, you know, the kind of rest, restorative, what we do in response to an experience, and then how we come back, or how we emerge from any experience into a new self, or a new invented self, a newly invented or reinvented self, changed. And so it says, the idea is to re-enter society as a new person with a sense of purpose and without being controlled by social or emotional pressures. And I think this is a really great thing that I think a lot of us, if we're honest with ourselves, are seeking to do. To be in society and operating with a purpose and without feeling controlled by social or emotional pressures. You know, that ability to focus on your purpose. Like, you know, for someone, their purpose might be giving back to society. For someone else, their purpose might be providing for their family. For another person, it might be creating something cutting edge. Whatever that purpose is, when we focus on it, it gives us this locus of control and something to refocus. Excuse me. Winter allergies are great. So it gives us this chance to refocus onto something more productive, something that is more emotionally calming and soothing than, you know, just the whims and vicissitudes of society. Oh yeah, and this is another bit of my art right there. You know, but having those things that allow us to fully inhabit our personhood and to, you know, operate in our purpose without being controlled by social or emotional pressures. I feel like that is kind of what the definition of freedom is. You know, for me, as someone who has been blessed to witness some very amazing things that I think are rare, you know, kind of once in a lifetime thing, once in a generation thing. I know it's possible to have that sense of, you know, purpose, to have that sense of like freedom in operating in your mission. And it's easy to, because of the stresses and pressures of life, to forget to have fun, to see only what is work or what is stress. And so I think balance makes all things operate better. And of course, balance is a juggling act. It's not like a perfect thing. I don't have it perfectly. But what I do have is the knowledge of what I bring to the table. And I hope that you all do too. You know, it gives really great tips for that productivity thing, for that flow thing that we're all seeking, or we're all finding new ways to enter. And I think, again, when we talk about entering into a new phase or stage, one of the things, the ways that you move away from the pressures of social or emotional, kind of reminding yourself to be in the present, not thinking about the past or the future, trying, obviously, because all of it is, every day we live on in hope. Every day we try more, or we try again. So again, no preaching here, but just things we find. So concerns about your daily life and the people around us can invade our thoughts. So that's just something this book highlights as far as distractions, things that get you out of the flow state. And, you know, it talks as well about preparing thoroughly and how preparation is really great for, you know, being able to feel a sense of flow. And, you know, I have to agree. I love, and I think that's why I love prepping. I love, you know, going and You know, if I have to pitch something, I'm rehearsing it, memorizing it, doing all that I can to kind of be second nature about it. Because then I can be present, and there's nothing like being present to allow for opportunities. You know, if someone is saying, you know, a client is saying, hey, we actually have a concern in this place, or, you know, we're also thinking that we might need this, and it turns out that's, you know, a new feature, or that's a service that you can offer. Being prepared and rehearsed and well versed allows you to not be so in your head, so that you can hear that concern, you know, that the client has, and be active in responding to it, and in real time, you know. So it's amazing, and I find that as I go through this, I'm also able to look at my own life and life experiences and work experiences, and see like, oh, I deliver value here, oh, I do this here. And yeah, I think the book is great. I suggest, you know, anyone who hasn't and is looking for, you know, some clarity and something to reflect on as they go into the new year and try to figure out, how do we get through the morass of living. I think Ikigai by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles is a very good option. So tech, that's the last thing. So we've gone through food, and that's Thanksgiving. Art, the art I've created so far. Culture, Ikigai, and now we're talking about technology. And it's always such a weird and really wonderful place to be when I'm going, what do I say and how do I describe what I'm doing and what we're working on? It's always progress and forward motion. Run it by some family. But how do I feel about the future of technology and artificial intelligence? I'm actually still way more optimistic, and I'm sure many of you are like, yeah, duh, of course you're optimistic. Your family, you've co-founded an AI company. You've been a part of this since you were a child. Of course you'd say that. And the truth is, that's not true. You know, there are plenty of people who grow up around a thing and then decide they don't love it or don't like it or hate it. For me, I've experienced multiple things because it is a family business. And it's all brought me to the conclusion that what we're doing and the way we do it and how we deliver value is something I'm really proud of and that I'm really optimistic on. For Argon, it was started, and still as its ethos has, serving people, helping people, being a positive part of people's lives. It was started by my father as a way for us to help my grandmother, who lived away from us, and therefore we could not directly interact to say, hey, how are you doing with your medications and keeping up with this and da-da-da. The idea of truly assisting, of helping, of being a positive presence, that means something to us. That was a part, and has been since its inception, a part of what we do and why we do it. Because we thought of those most in need first. So it changes a lot of how we see things. And again, you know, I said it before, we are about win-win. Like, there's no reason why everyone cannot benefit. It's the zero-sum idea is truly a failure of imagination. It's not about just hype. Hype is necessary, but it's also important that you understand what you're capable of, and that you can work hand in hand with this technology, and the you being the average person out there, the any person, you know. Yeah, don't be afraid of new things. Learn about them. It is the strongest way we overcome fear is through knowledge. You know, if we know how something works, it's like if you know how to replace a car tire, you don't fear, you know, getting a flat. And it's the same with creating products in tech or physical products. You know, if you understand the basics, you can build upon, and you can reverse engineer what you don't know, or you can reverse engineer to problem solve, or to create new tools to help you enhance what you know or what you're able to do already. So, I mean, I guess this is the self-improvement episode, and, you know, here's why you should improve yourself if we want to get clickbaity about it. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on technology. I urge everyone to learn about it for themselves and not just, you know, the hype of the news. If it makes you feel overly scared or anxious, then it's not information, it's editorializing. With information, you can have your feelings, of course, and you should. I'm not telling you not to have it. What I'm saying is that there should be something empowering that you feel. You should feel one step or two or however many closer to, okay, I understand what's happening here. I have a handle on this. If when you are hearing news about tech, all you feel is further lost, likely you're not getting really like well-delivered information. You know, it has to be from a reputable source, not just an institution, but an institution of learning that is hopefully accredited, that is unbiased, meaning not just that it has, oh, someone from this side and someone from that side, but that it has, based on science, based on studies, proven, done by different people, a large enough sample group. And of course, that's hard to come by in this world where everything is, you know, sound bites. But I think that's why holding off on immediate fear or extreme optimism without any clear-eyed approach is best. If we can stay clear-eyed, if we can look at something and just try to get to the understanding of what is it, what is happening, whether it's good or not, then you evaluate for yourself that. Don't let anyone evaluate it for you. Yeah, I won't get into macroeconomics or microeconomics here, but yeah, there is always, if you want to look at history and say, oh no, we're repeating the past, don't forget to look at the parts where things progressed, because those are as possible as the other parts. All right, well, this is Lauren Brown. I think I'm done here with this soapbox. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and follow me on the socials. They'll be linked in the description box, as well as my link to the Ikigai book on Amazon. And I hope to see you soon, and have a great holiday. Bye.